Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. Glad to have everybody here for another update. So I do got some good news. I did fix my camera. It is functionable for right now. So that is what we're dealing with here. So that's good news. But what's up everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. We're going to go ahead and jump right on over here to the full screen. You guys can see my new setup here for now. Anyways, my friends, let's see who we got here for today before we dive on into it. We got ourselves Master Frog, we have Andrea, we got ourselves Brooklyn, we have Florida Man. Let's see here, we got ourselves Mr. Wolf, lately, let's see here in the bottom. We got Telin, we have Mazio, we have Kala, we have Mark, we have Jack, we have, let's see here, TRG, we have, let's see here, Mr. Wolf. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. Glad to have y'all here. So, yeah, so if you don't know what's going on today, y'all, we do got ourselves a pretty busy day today regarding the potential for severe weather. We are talking a potential tornado outbreak today, given the fact that we do have a pretty big risk for tornadoes regarding the SPC's outlook here. We have a 10% hatched risk for tornadoes. Which is basically saying that, you know, we have a chance that some of these naders could be pretty large, possibly EF2 and larger, according to SPC here. So obviously today's greatest threat for tornadoes is going to be across areas like, you know, kind of east central Louisiana and the portions out there by like, you know, Mississippi. That's kind of where the greatest tornado threat is. But the overall tornado threat is for all of these areas that are colored here. So we have a 2% chance for tornadoes across dark green, you know, including Arkansas, even like eastern Texas included, portions of Alabama in the tornado risk here for today. And we actually do have ourselves a little 2% risk out there by kind of western Iowa, also northwestern, northwestern Missouri. I think that's just shy of Kansas City. I don't think Kansas City's in that because I'm pretty sure Kansas City's like right here. But they're close, but there's a little 2% risk out there, also towards, you know, Iowa. But yeah, obviously the greatest tornado threat for today is going to be across the dark, or I should say the brown, and of course the, you know, the dark yellow there, regarding the probability for tornadoes. So like I said, 10% risk. Now, damaging winds, on the other hand, 30% risk, non-hatch risk. So what that is basically saying here is that we have ourselves a 30% chance across the red here of seeing damaging winds, mostly between 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts being a possibility. So we'll watch out for that. Obviously, greatest, you know, damaging wind potentials across that region there. 15% risk across the yellow, so kind of the middle threat here for today. And of course, we have ourselves another little damaging wind threat across areas here in the brown, so 5% chance. So you can see this, it's based off of probabilities here, with the greatest chance across the red, so Mississippi and Louisiana, also southeastern Arkansas. Let's see here. Let's see. What's up, Martine? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Rich? What's up, Jen? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Katie? Let's see here. Good morning, Darian. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Let's see. Strong tornado heads towards populated areas. It would be up to the NWS for PDS warning. Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah. It just depends on population and stuff like that. If it's in a rural area, then honestly, the odds of going like PDS or Tori is very low because they mostly do like Tories and stuff like that for populated areas. So say if there's a damaging tornado heading into a big town or a city, then sometimes they'll do that. Let's hope that we don't need that today. But like I said, unfortunately, we do have a pretty big risk for tornadoes today. A 10% hatched risk out there. We're still having the models here. So I was looking at the models earlier, and I am honestly blown away just how strong the lower level winds are here. So not only do we have a lot of instability available, you can see a lot of the heaviest instability for today, basically the thunderstorm juice, the fuel for these storms, seems to be the heaviest across like Louisiana state in general. So really, if you know anybody who lives in Louisiana, this would be a good time to, let them know what's going on, because, overall, there's good potential out there for, severe weather in Louisiana. Now, something that's very important for thunderstorms and severe weather is the lower level winds. And you can see we have a very, very, very fast moving lower level jet. Thankfully, this does not line up 100%. You can kind of see our instability. Most of it's in this area here. And if we hop over to our lower level jet stream, most of the amplified jet is to the east of the convection, or the east of the instability, I should say. So that's good, but honestly, it's still going to be strong enough to produce a couple significant tornadoes, possibly. We'll have to just see how that plays out. And our mid-level wind shear is very strong. Even across the area of convection, we're talking like 80 knots, 85, 90 knots in some areas. It's a very, very strong lower level jet here, mid-level jet, my bad. So our mid-level winds throughout the atmosphere is going pretty quick, which is allowing for these storms to quickly organize and, mature into some strong supercells. Dew points, which is also very important. We're looking for these in our 60s and 70s, which they are. This is basically very important for, moisture, because storms need a lot of moist air. And here at the ground level, it's where they get it. So we have a lot of, high dew points representing that there is a bit of moisture in our lower atmosphere here. Honestly, we can look at the humidity for that. You can see there's a lot of humid air, which is, in the lower levels, you want a lot of humidity to get these storms going, because, a lot of it holds water vapor, which eventually is used to condense into actual water droplets. So, very high humidity, very high dew points in the region here. So that's just prime conditions here for storms firing. Now, let me go ahead and bring you all over here to the HRRR. This is what I'm a little concerned about. We're going to bring you over here to the mode here for today. Let's see here. That's HRRR. We're going to bring up the 13 Zulu here. Actually, I don't think it's done. We're going to have to hop back to 12 Zulu here. So you can kind of see the mode for today is what we call a QLCS, which is fancy term for just a squall line, a long line of storms. And so what's going on here is that we have ourselves, like I said, essentially this long line of storms here. Now, given the environment, like we were talking about, strong lower and mid-level winds here, this will allow for some embedded tornadoes, meaning some tornadoes that kind of dig their way into this line, I should say. So the problem with that's what I'm mostly concerned about. The problem with embedded tornadoes in a long line of storms is because it's wrapped around precipitation. So, for example, you could have some circulation inside of a heavy precipitation core. So, heavy rain plus tornadoes is not good because it obscures the view. It literally obstructs the view where you cannot see it. So that is why, this is a little bit more of a dangerous setup today, is because, it's going to be hard to spot anything with your eyes because, there's going to be the potential for some rain-wrapped tornadoes today. So we'll watch it. I will be live today. I'm gonna take some time to be live for a while for you guys today. And unfortunately, I hate to tell you guys this, and obviously I got to get this out there. This will turn into a nocturnal threat, basically meaning nighttime potential of rain wrap tornadoes could theoretically occur tonight. Because as we approach midnight, this is right at midnight here, you can kind of see that long line of storms here will be kicking off across like central Mississippi and portions still in like southeastern Louisiana. Still got a bit of storms popping off out there. So that's the unfortunate thing. So, the storms are really going to start popping off here. It seems like, honestly, it really looks like a lot of the heaviest convection is going to really start to fire off here kind of later on this afternoon, kind of maybe late afternoon, I'd say, into the evening hours is whenever things are going to start to, really amplify and blow up here. And then we track away further down in time here, kind of here for, later on tomorrow. And the day after here, as this line approaches to the east, shouldn't be as much of a problem regarding the next couple of days here. It's really just like today that's the biggest concern. Now, for tomorrow, they do have another risk for some areas. Like we do have a little risk for severe weather across the Ohio Valley tomorrow. And obviously, some places still in the Gulf Coast here by, like Panhandle, Florida, southern Alabama, southwest Georgia. Some of those regions out there will be at risk here regarding severe weather tomorrow. There is tornado probability tomorrow, not as high as it is today. See damaging winds 5%, hail, not a concern tomorrow, really. And then day 3 outlook, we got, nothing severe as of now. So, so once again, today we have an enhanced risk. Like I said, it's a level 3 out of 5, kind of on the mid-level of the severe scale, which, any level is a risk for severe and, potentially dangerous thunderstorms. And, of course, with the level 3 today being across the orange, or level 3 is the orange, across, Mississippi and Louisiana, portions of Arkansas. This orange area is going to be your greatest concern. Now, this does include some pretty populated areas like Jackson, Mississippi. We got Monroe, Louisiana. We got ourselves Alexandria, Louisiana, Meridian, Mississippi, Greenville, Mississippi. You guys are inside of the level 3 threat here for today. Let's see here. Do I think this risk would go moderate if discrete supercells were the main mode? Honestly, I don't know. It just depends on, where everything mixes. Because like I was saying, our lower level jet, while it is strong, while it's a very, very strong jet stream, it's a little offset from our main convection. So if I hop back over here to our radar and stuff like that, you can kind of see how all the storms are right in here, future radar, I should say. All of our storms are in this point for this time, and you can see our jet stream. I mean, while it is very strong in that region, the strongest is a little bit more ahead of it. But with that being said, we still have a significant jet stream under place here for these storms, which will allow for, unfortunately, the potential for quite a few significant tornadoes being possible. So what I mean by significant, meaning the potential of tornadoes being EF2 or greater. That is a good possibility. And, the SPC, they did say that. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. So if I hop back to tornado probability, 10% risk out there. You see how it says SIG severe and hatch risk area, 10%. Oh, you can't really see that too well. There you go. Hatched area, 10% risk or greater. EF2, EF5 tornadoes. So obviously, the odds of having an EF5, we haven't had one in many years, so, don't go into this expecting EF5s or anything like that, but just know that there could be a couple strong tornadoes, maybe larger, or EF2 or plus. It can happen, just given all the ingredients that we have in place here, some strong instability with strong lower and mid-level wind shear, as well as high dew points. I mean, this is kind of like a nice little setup we have here for severe weather, so we'll have to definitely be careful. We're going to grab a few soundings here. I'm going to go ahead and grab our first one. This is right at 0 Zulu, so this would be 7 Central. This would be 8 Eastern, so we're going to grab one right across central Louisiana, just to kind of get an atmospheric breakdown here to kind of see what's going on here. So with this model, with this sounding, wow, very dry mid-level atmosphere, I can tell you that. So that could honestly support some very, honestly, that is a bit concerning. That might even produce some pretty large hail, actually. While today's hail threat's pretty low, that looks like a pretty big hail sounding here. Also, DCAPE, you can't see that. That's basically measuring our downdraft energy, which, is directly associated with, damaging winds and stuff like that. We're over 1,000, so that could be a good probability for some damaging winds. Mostly I see here. Winds are mostly, mostly in the same direction throughout the atmosphere, but there is, still a possibility we could get a few spin-ups popping up here. So, tornadoes could still be a possible concern. But from what it looks like for me, from what I'm seeing, it seems like the tornado threat is going to develop more later on. Yeah, because here's the sounding for midnight rather than 8 p.m. Eastern. 4 hours later, you see there's more of a curvature to our hodograph here, which that is basically saying that there is more directional wind shear here. So the winds are changing directions from the surface to our upper atmosphere. There's a little bit more of a wind directional change here, which is basically putting all those ingredients together for tornadic activity. And like I said, with our moisture, upper 60 dew points. We need a lot of high humidity, a lot of because our humidity is very high in our lower atmosphere, which that is, containing high humid air means that there's a lot of water vapor stored in our lower atmosphere. And as you get that warm air that rises, all that stored water vapor shoots up in the air. And as it reaches the cooler environment, the air can't hold as much moisture anymore. So what it does is the stored moisture can't fit in the air anymore. So it condenses and it turns into water droplets, which obviously, that creates, thunderstorms and stuff. So that's going to happen there. But yeah, once again, I see damaging winds on this sounding being pretty big. I'm honestly surprised they didn't put a hatch risk for damaging winds today, because today's wind risk out there, we have a 30% risk for damaging winds. Like I said, we have a pretty solid risk out there for damaging winds. But, whenever it comes to it here, once again, greatest probability, we have one hatched risk threat, and that's for tornadoes. And, regarding hail's not too much of a concern today, although I think we could have a couple of large hailstones, honestly. Personally, now this is my opinion, obviously take this how you want to. I think they might be underdoing the hail threat today. I feel like there could be some larger hailstones than what they have. But we'll see. I'll obviously see how that plays out. Damaging winds here. I'm surprised they didn't put a hatch risk, considering how strong our lower level wind shear is. Mixing in with that downdraft energy, or D-cape, is pretty high. So I honestly feel like we're going to have some pretty strong winds today, too. Possibly even hatched, 70 plus mile an hour, I feel like is a possibility. But we'll see with later outlooks what they do. And of course, tornadoes, yeah, it makes sense they have a hatch risk. And honestly, I kind of agree with this tornado side of things. But, like I said, it's just all up to see how this plays out here. So, yeah, we'll definitely be watching out there for that. And, once again, like I was saying, a lot of our instability here you can see is in the purple, pink, and a lot of the heaviest, I should say, is in the blue. Which, you can kind of see our heaviest instability, our thunderstorm juice, we'll call it, is, all available across Lake Louisiana. So, once again, if you have any family out in Louisiana, anywhere, near the region here between Louisiana, like Mississippi and, even Arkansas, some of these areas here in the yellow and orange, it would be a good thing to let your family, your friends, and anybody you really know in those regions, just give them a heads up, let them know that, severe weather is going to be a big concern today, with all hazards, mostly tornadoes and winds, for the most part. So, like I said, that's where you guys come in to help. If you guys could, just let your folks know about it, just to help spread awareness and help everybody understand what's going on for today. Because, like I said, these ingredients here, man, they're all in place. Strong, decent amounts of instability. Very, very strong lower level jet. Mid-level jet's very strong as well. And, everything's just lining up here. Really high dew points, high humidity, and all that stuff. Let's see here. Let's see, Reno is in EF3. Yeah. Debatably, yeah, that's a big debate. If it did more damage, it would have been rated higher. But the thing is that it really just didn't do that much damage. Even though Doppler on Wheels did report, was it 302, I think? 302 mile an hour winds, which that would have easily made over EF5. But yeah. Let's see here. Zach, dude, coming with a $10 super chat, man. Thank you so much, Zach. I appreciate it. Saying, appreciate the coverage, brother. You're very welcome. No problem. Saying this one's hitting really close to home. Gotcha. Yeah, well, be safe out there, Zach. like I said, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. And thanks again, man. Yeah, that's very sweet of you. Appreciate that. My man Zach coming in with a $10 support. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Seriously, that's much help to me. Let's see. What's up, Samuel? Hope you're doing good, man. Glad to have you here. Let's see. Hailing now in West Des Moines. What? Hailing in Des Moines? Are you sure it's not sleet? Hold on, let me look. Let's see what's going on up there. In Des Moines, Iowa? No way. There's no way there's hail going on up here right now. Oh, wow. Well, maybe so. Huh. Well, there you go. Maybe there is. I mean, there is a few storms popping up out here. All right. Yeah, I wasn't too sure if they were in, like, the winter side of things. Because there is a big winter side. Yeah, look at this. Up to the north here, we already have a lot of snow that's falling with this event here. If we work our way over here to, let's actually go up to Minneapolis radar here up in Minnesota. And we turn on the precipitation type. Yeah, there's a lot of snow going on up there. It's a big snowstorm. Not only is it a big severe weather event that's brewing for today, but it's also a pretty hefty snowstorm as well. And some areas could see over a foot from what it looks like. So we've already seen reports that are already near a foot in some areas, which is pretty crazy. Like for example, right here towards Duluth, we got a 11-inch snow report. Got a 10-inch to the west of that. And then, it's still snowing. So, yeah, pretty big on the snow side of things as well. But anyways, all right, we're going to hop on back here, y'all. So, like I said, if you guys are just joining us, here is our latest risk. Like I said, we have an enhanced risk today, a level 3 threat. So, it's a pretty big deal today regarding severe weather potential. When it comes to it, tornadoes, unfortunately, is one of the biggest concerns today, as we do got ourselves a hatched risk for severe weather. Or for tornadoes, I should say. So across this area here, which is mostly consisting of, or which only is consisting here of central Mississippi and portions like east central Louisiana. Across the yellow, like I said, that's what we call the hatch risk area. So it's a 10% chance of having a tornado within 25 miles of you. So say you lived in the yellow area here, so there would be a 10% chance of a tornado dropping within 25 miles of your location. And with those little dotted black lines that you see, so that's where the hatch risk comes in. So what that means is that, across the area here, the significant severe, there's a possibility that some of these storms could be pretty large. We could have some tornadoes, maybe EF2 and larger. Given an amplified lower-level jet, meaning we have stronger lower-level winds and also mid-level winds. We have a lot of strong wind shear throughout our atmosphere. The winds are really cranking across the atmosphere for today, on all levels of the atmosphere, really. And, of course, our strong instability. We have a lot of fuel for those storms, as we were talking about. I can actually show you guys the instability and stuff. There's our moisture, high dew points, a lot of high humidity, which is, like I said, a lot of stored water vapor. A lot of stored water vapor in our lower atmosphere, and as all that rises and cools down, like I was saying, colder air cannot hold as much water vapor as warmer air can. So as it rises into a cooler atmosphere, the stored water vapor has nowhere to go. So what it does is it condenses and turns into water droplets, which then falls down as rain and develops those big towering clouds that you see. So yeah, high humidity is associated with those those temperatures and our dew points being relatively similar. You're closer those two are together, the higher the humidity. We got high humid air across the regions there. So we have the moisture, we have our instability. Like I was saying, a good amount of instability, unstable air moving, across the regions here like Louisiana, eastern Texas, and eventually working its way later on tonight into like Mississippi and all. A lot of unstable conditions going on out there. And then lastly, like I was saying, is our winds. We got some amplified lower level winds here. I mean, we're talking a significant lower level jet here. So what's happening in this place? So about 4,000 feet up, nothing too crazy, 4,000 feet aloft. These winds are moving directly north. And you can kind of see they are screaming too. These winds are like over 70, 80 miles an hour. This is in knots here. Some of these actually get up nearly 100 miles an hour according to the RAP model. which is wild. But yeah, so we got a really strong lower level jet here, very significant with that. And of course, our mid-level winds here too, got quite the jet going on. So, organization of these thunderstorms is going to be very easily done today, with the mixing in a good amount of instability, a lot of strong winds and all that stuff. Unfortunately, everything's coming together for today. Let's see here. Looks like we're going to get some rain stuff from the squall approaches Alabama overnight. Is there a chance that all the rain could stabilize the air to prevent tornadoes? Honestly, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Sometimes in some events it can. Obviously if you get a lot of rain and it cools down, if you get a lot of convection before the main event, it can actually cool down the atmosphere and all that stuff, or cool down the surface, I should say, which creates like this pool of cold air on the surface, which, for the main event rolling through, it ingests all that cold air, which is not good for the storms. But honestly, in this event here, the models are really talking just one solid line. Now, there is a good possibility we could have a bit of convection, a bit of storms ahead of it. But honestly, I don't think that's going to do too much to this storm here. I mean, if I hop over to satellite view, I was tracking sat over here earlier. If I bring up the sat view, you can kind of see there's a little bit of breaking clouds. I mean, there's a lot of cloud cover today across those regions. I mean, look at this. You want to see something crazy? Look what happens when I play this in motion here. I mean, you can literally already see the winds, the component. You can see that lower level jet. You see all those winds, see all those clouds moving north. That's our lower level jet. So that's our lower atmosphere. The winds are screaming north, as you can see. And if you look, you can actually see there's another jet of air moving northeast here. So you can already see that we have that turning winds. Clouds make good vectors in which you can kind of see which way the winds are moving, and the way it looks, they're moving pretty quick. So that's the unfortunate thing. But yeah, you can see those mid-level clouds there, how they're moving, northeast here, and you can see our lower level clouds here that they're really screaming up north, and that's just the factor there of all the wind shear that we have in the atmosphere. There's a lot of it, and like I said, later on as we approach our way further down into this evening, or this afternoon, I should say, we're going to really start to build in a lot of instability here. Models have been talking well over 1,000 joules per kilogram. We're talking maybe 1,000, maybe even 1,500 at most, maybe like 1,750. We'll see, according to the HRRR and RAP models, but. Yeah, a lot of good instability. The heaviest instability, the heaviest unstable air is going to be roughly in some of these regions here, mostly throughout like Louisiana. It seems like that instability kind of thins out throughout central Mississippi. But, sometimes up there, on that nose of instability, that's where you can get some of those big storms sometimes. So, it might not look like there's a lot to do much up here, but you got to think that's where our heaviest winds are at too, which that will allow for maybe some strong supercells to develop there. So that's the main concern, which you can kind of see why that whole area is just in that risk. That biggest tornado threat for today is because a lot of instability mixing in with our wind shear here. Our low level winds, like I said, they're super amplified, which is crazy. Let's see, Polar Vortexes, I love that you found a place to do your live streams out to the connection issues. Yeah, don't jinx it, man. So far it's been pretty good. I hope it stays that way. It's been good. I have like 2 to 3 times faster connection now, so hopefully it'll fix that issue. Yeah, I was far away from my router. That was the problem. And since I moved rooms, I switched to my mom. So, we all live here as a family, like my brother, me, and my mom, and me and my mom switch rooms. So, let's see here. Mazia says, thanks for talking to my question. Appreciate it. If you're talking to me, you're welcome. Let's see here. What time is this kicking off? Good question. So it looks like a lot of our heaviest instability, a lot of that unstable air starts to really build in right around, let's say, 18 Zulu. So what is that? 18 Zulu. I think that's like 2 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. Pretty sure it's like 2 p.m. Eastern, so 1 Central. I'm thinking it's going to really start to pop off here right around like mid-afternoon. Kind of like mid-afternoon moving into the evening time. That's when I believe a lot of the heavy stuff's going to start to pop off here. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking out there for. You can kind of see, like, if we hop back to HRRR here. Once again, the mode for today, guys, unfortunately is going to be kind of like this long line of convection. We call it QLCS, which is stands for quasi-linear convective system. I know it's a very fancy name, but it's a long squall line. It's just a long line of storms here. And the bad thing about it is that there's going to be some embedded areas of rotation, embedded tornado potential, which the problem with that is that, what happens is, that rotation, you get a tornado inside of that precipitation core. And what ends up happening here is, essentially, the tornado becomes rain-wrapped, meaning it's impossible to see, really. You really can't see a tornado in that line, unfortunately, because, rain just obscures your view. So that's why you need to be a little extra cautious for today. Just be prepared and, once again, ready to go to your shelter if necessary today, and all that. And like I said, today, the biggest tornado threat, this is our tornado probability for today. You can see we have a pretty good risk for tornadoes, especially across, like Mississippi and Louisiana here. That area here on, that yellow area here, that is the biggest risk for today, which, like I said, that's a 10% risk for tornadoes. So say you live, we'll just mark. So say you live right there, okay? So within 25 miles of you, there's a 10% chance that somewhere within 25 miles of you, there could be a tornado, 10% chance of a tornado dropping in that vicinity there. Now, as you notice how, the other colors, they don't have like black dashed lines, only the yellow does. And like I said, that's our hatch risk, which our hatch risk is basically saying that there is, like I said, that there is a good shot that we could have some, larger tornadoes today. We're talking maybe EF2 or higher. I hate to mention that, but, that's just kind of what we're talking about today. Given the fact we have an amplified lower level jet, our winds are seriously screaming throughout the atmosphere today. And we got some really fast moving winds throughout the layers of the atmosphere, different directions they're moving in, and, tons of instability available, or enough, I should say, not an excessive amount, but enough instability to really get things going. And, high humidity, lower atmosphere, a lot of available water vapor that's going to be shot up into the cooler environment, which will then, can't hold as much water vapor anymore as it reaches cooler air and then condenses and so on. And yeah, so there's just a lot of good potential today regarding the the severe weather for today. So yeah, the yellow area is talking maybe the possibility of some of those tornadoes being EF2 plus. And they do have a little 2% risk out there towards Iowa. I'm honestly curious to why they have that there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So it looks like, okay, so I see why they have it there. So that's where our low is. That's where our low pressure system. Think of that as the engine of this whole madness. And so what happens is you get something called cyclone-induced tornadoes. So on the right-hand side of that low, sometimes you can have conditionally favorable environment for tornadic activity. Now, when it comes to it, there's a little bit of instability available. You can see that there is a bit of instability. Not a whole lot, really not a lot at all, but it could be enough to get things done. And if I hop over here to our lower level winds here, you can actually see how we do have, nothing significant, but we're even talking like 30, maybe 30 knot lower level jet, which, yeah, like I said, the winds do support it. They do support it. Mid-level winds pretty strong. I see it. I do see why. Pull of instability with that changing, that veering wind shear, which will allow for, maybe some tornadoes out there as well. But yeah, we got a tornado possible activity out there today in even western Iowa, even northwestern Missouri too. So let's see here. TRG said running low on phone battery. All right. Let's see. See you later, Frog. Thanks for joining. Allison just waking up. Can I put the location in the title? I think you have an SCC. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, the thumbnail we have the the whole map area so you guys can kind of see it. But yeah, so today's greatest concern, like I was saying, is across the orange. So the way this works is that the Storm Prediction Center outlook, this is from the SPC, Storm Prediction Center. The way this works is that you have a scale that goes from 1 to 5, 5 being like the worst risk for severe weather, 1 being like the lowest risk for severe storms. But regardless of what level you're in, there's still a risk for severe weather. And we have a level 3 today, which that's definitely something to not take lightly. Level 3 across the orange here, level 2 across the yellow, and level 1 across dark green. Now the light green area, that's just a thunderstorm threat. So across the light green, there's a possibility we could get a couple of couple thunderstorms, but nothing severe, nothing damaging really expected. So that's good. But yeah, the heaviest, like I was saying, is across the orange there. Once again, tornado probability. We're talking pretty good odds here. Like I said, 10% hatch risk area. Pretty large tornadoes possible. Damaging wind criteria, let's say 30% chance they got out there. So damaging winds, mostly ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour in terms of gusts from these storms is expected. Pretty good odds though on that as well, and pretty good odds of having damaging winds, especially across the red. 15 across the yellow there, and all that stuff, and. That is pretty good odds. Like I said, I'm honestly surprised they did not put a hatch risk for hail, or sorry, for wind. Sorry, I'm surprised they didn't put a hatch risk for winds because, given the fact that we do have that really strong, strong winds throughout the atmosphere. For one, we also have a lot of downdraft instability, so a lot of decape we call it. Which basically measures your downdraft potential. The higher your decape, the more force your downdraft's going to have potentially. So that can amplify your probabilities of seeing, damaging winds for one, but also increasing the intensity of them as well. I just grabbed a sounding. I think that was Louisiana. I just grabbed it from. And this sounding, has over 1,000 decape, 1,000 downdraft cape. Which you can see also our lower level winds are not super crazy on this sounding here, but they're good enough. But there definitely could be some winds in here. So damaging winds is once again one of the main concerns as well. It's not just tornadoes, but it's also like damaging winds. You got to watch out for some damaging wind gusts. But yeah. I'm in the general thunderstorm risk, not worried. Yeah, you shouldn't be. Yeah, you really shouldn't be. Honestly, none of you guys should be worried about this. I understand it's a little freaky, especially in like the 10% risk area. But, like I said, even the odds of you getting a tornado is still pretty low. For one specific person to get a tornado, the odds are pretty low. But overall, as a collective area, there's a good shot we could have a couple tornadoes. So, that's you should still watch out for it. But there's no reason to panic. There's no reason to freak out over it. But once again, like I said, there is a good potential that we could have ourselves, a couple of nasty tornadoes today. Damaging winds, and like I said, hail's not too much of a concern. There is a threat for hail. Possibly seeing some hail up to, quarter size, maybe a little larger in some instances. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. What part of Louisiana? So really all of Louisiana is at risk here. The greatest probability for Louisiana is going to be on the eastern side, out there towards, the, kind of the northeast side. So you have Shreveport that's up in the top left in the slight risk. We got New Orleans, Baton Rouge. I believe you guys are both in the, you guys are both in the slight risk here. The heaviest areas that's in the enhanced risk, like the biggest threat for today, includes Jackson, Mississippi. We got Monroe, Louisiana, Alexandria, Louisiana, Meridian, Mississippi, and Greenville, Mississippi. Those are the areas that have like the heaviest threat overall for all of that going on. So we'll just have to watch this one closely. And like I said, I will be live for you guys today. I want to be here for you guys to help y'all out with everything going on, and want to make sure you guys are staying safe out there. How do you see rotation on any radar? So you got to look at a product called velocity, which is BV, base velocity, in which you look for a little couplet. So if you see those two colors, in and outbound winds that are tight next to each other, sometimes it means that there's rotation. Which I'll make a whole radar video on that eventually. I made a how to read radar video a while ago, but I want to do an updated version of that. It was a long time ago, so. Yeah, I was wanting to do that soon, but like I said, I just had a lot of stuff going on recently, so that's why we haven't been as active lately. But since everything's changed, like I said, moving rooms, and then I started with me taking a break because I've been nonstop doing this, and then obviously it turned into switching rooms and everything like that. It's just been crazy. Let's see here. No reason to be scared of flooding. Andrew's life question. Absolutely, absolutely. This is one from Daytona Beach, Florida. Rebecca said, like a shade. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's talk about tomorrow real quickly, you guys. So, yeah, tomorrow the severe threat continues. It's not as bad, obviously. Tomorrow we have a level 1 threat, just a little marginal. Nothing too wild tomorrow, but, across, like, Michigan. Yeah, Michigan has a small threat for severe weather tomorrow. Western Ohio, pretty much all of Indiana, portions of Kentucky, and eastern Illinois is at risk for severe weather tomorrow. Same thing for portions of the Gulf Coast, like the Panhandle, Florida, exclusively. Southern Alabama here, and, some little slivers, towards, like, coastal Mississippi and extreme southeastern, like the marshlands of Louisiana there. We could have maybe a couple strong to severe storms. Tornadoes, though, tomorrow will be possible. Not as big of a concern as it is today, though. Like I said, tomorrow's tornado threat's 2% chance, which is pretty low odds, but today's, like I said, is a 10% hatch risk, which, is a little bit more significant. Not only in probability, but also in intensity as well. Because with today's threat, like we were saying, we got ourselves pretty good odds. So, what's up, Queen Bean? Hope you're doing good. What's up, John, man? Hope you're doing all right, my friend. So, all right, let's go ahead and hop our way back over here to the satellite view. So, yeah, like I was saying, this is current sat view. This is the satellite view currently. And like I said, this is really cool, actually. This really kind of shows you the atmosphere right now. You can kind of see what's going on just by looking at the clouds and their movements. So I want you to look real closely. So you see all that wind. So I'm going to point a little arrow here. So the winds are coming up. You see that in our lower atmosphere? So that's towards the ground. We got some lower level winds that are really screaming up north. And if you look closely, the higher you go up in the atmosphere, you can see this big jet going northeast. So you see that? You have a jet going northeast and you have a jet going north. So that is already telling us there that our winds are changing with altitude. There's our lower level winds, and, the winds do change direction. So that is prime tornado conditions. What you want is those lower level winds to mostly be northerly. Because what's happening here, as you can imagine, all of that air is coming up from the Gulf, right? So the Gulf is, just a big pool of moisture. And as the sun heats up, the Gulf, it increases water vapor content and evaporates a lot of the water, in which all of that water vapor is, since the winds are pulling north in our lower atmosphere, it's dragging all that water vapor, all of that moisture in for these storms. And then, of course, our upper level winds here, you can see how they're really screaming northeast, so that change in wind direction there gets those storms really going, and, in the lower atmosphere gets, potential of some supercells developing out of that. So, yeah. With all that being said, I just realized my date is off. Hold on, let me go ahead and fix that date real quickly before I forget again. Come coverage time, I'm going to end up forgetting that. I'm surprised no one pointed it out, man. Shoot. I had the 24th still on there. Anyways, let's see. Is it just down south for the day? So, Daniel, the risk for today is across these areas. So we have the dark green, which is a level 1 threat. We got the yellow, which is a level 2 threat, and we got the orange, which is a level 3 threat. Now, the greatest odds for seeing severe weather, the greatest tornado probability and damaging wind probability is going to be across the orange areas. So, across the orange, you got yourself a, like I said, you got yourself a 30% chance here for damaging winds. Okay, so that's basically saying that you have a 30% chance of seeing damaging wind gusts today between 60 and 70 miles an hour. I think personally there could be a bit stronger winds. I think they're underdoing that. I think they really need to add a hatch risk for winds, considering decate values and, lower level wind shear. I think damaging winds are going to be a bit more of a concern than that. But, 30% odds, good probability of damaging winds out there. And, of course, in terms of hail, 5% risk out there. Nothing too wild for hail, but tornadoes, once again, 10% risk out there. Where are we looking? So this is in the south. The heaviest areas today for severe weather is going to be across Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama. Also eastern Texas. Those are going to be the greatest probabilities for severe weather today. And, of course, we still have the possibility for even severe weather happening up in Iowa, even eastern Kansas, portions out there by Missouri. And, of course, if you're wondering the light green, like I was saying, the light green is just a thunderstorm risk saying, hey, there's a possibility for a couple booms here and there, but nothing too wild. We're not expecting, like I said, not expecting anything crazy across the light green there. When's the next SPC update? Let's see. At 16:30 Zulu. It's 14:45, so in about 2 hours, a little bit less than 2 hours. So let's see, it'd be 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central, I believe. Yeah, pretty sure. I live in Indianapolis. Well, today you don't got nothing to worry about, my friend. There's a possibility for a couple thunderstorms, but nothing severe. Tomorrow, though, tomorrow we do have we do got a little marginal risk out there. So, tomorrow's threat, like I was saying, we do have a small little tornado threat as well. Nothing super wild tomorrow. We're not expecting widespread tornadoes or anything like that tomorrow, but a couple of them could happen throughout Indiana. Same thing for Western Ohio. Michigan, Illinois. Portions out there by the Panhandle, Florida. Southern Alabama. Some of those regions out there could see maybe some isolated tornado or two. But for today, though, there's a good shot we could have multiple tornadoes across Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Even areas by Alabama today. There's a good shot we could have multiple tornadoes out there. Let's see. I think Alabama will get the grunt of it. Western Alabama in Alabama in general, Western Alabama has the greatest probability. On both the damaging winds and the hail, both the damaging winds and the tornado. Yeah, not really expecting any hail across Alabama today, or Mississippi even. So, nothing significant. Nothing wild, nothing too crazy. So that's good. That's good. Let's see. When does this start, says Henry? So when we were looking at the models here, it seems like a lot of our instability, that thunderstorm juice, really starts getting going around 18 Zulu. That is, like I said, I think that's 2 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, that might even be 4, actually. Is that 4? Yeah, that's 4, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so that is 4. That's 4 p.m., I'm pretty sure, Eastern. So 3 Central. So, yeah, mid-afternoon, moving into evening time. And like I said, unfortunately, guys, today, there's going to be the probability that we could have some of those, some nocturnal tornadoes, nocturnal severe weather concerns. Unfortunately, like I was saying, our jet stream here is soaring. I mean, we have a really, really, really strong lower-level winds, screaming north, and mid-level winds here. You can see they're really amplified, moving northeast here. So, yeah, mixing in instability we have available, getting up to about 1,500 joules per kilogram, maybe a little higher, and of course, all that. Let's see. Yeah, that's our SIGTOR parameter, which I don't really like using this too much. A lot of people like using this. I just like looking at the ingredients in general. But anyways, will Ohio go slight risk tomorrow by chance? I don't know. I don't think so, honestly. I mean, because Ohio's barely even in the risk tomorrow. Just got a little marginal out there. Not too wild. 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. So, Samuel, I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central is whenever things are going to really start kicking off. Let me hop back here. So that would be right at 18 Zulu. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, it really seems like 18 Zulu. That's whenever things are going to... You can kind of see how as we approach 18 Zulu, things start to turn a little bit more red, meaning higher precipitation rates and overall storm severity. So, yeah, I think that... I think around 4 Eastern, we're going to start to see a lot of heavier stuff going on. So that's when I'm going to plan to go live for you guys. It's 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to try to go live for you guys around that time, so it'll be 3 p.m. Central. So just set a reminder on your phone or just turn on notifications. That way you guys can get alerted whenever we do go live. So that is the plan. Rebecca says I'm going to got to go. All right, sounds good, Rebecca. Have a good day, my friend. Let's see here. I think we could get 30 sig or 45 non-sig. Wind. Oh, I was about to say, dude. I don't think 45. I think 30 sig. I think would be a good possibility, and that's you see. I have support for that, and the support is that the decape, our downdraft energy, is pretty high. We're over 1,000 joules a kilogram, and plus our lower levels, our significant lower level jet that we have in place there. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be a little hefty on the winds, I think. Just looking at models before my phone dies. Hey, TRG, do you think there could be a sig wind threat? Are you thinking that there's a your opinion? Do you think that there should be a 30 sig wind? I mean, like I was saying, I mean we'll grab another sounding or two here. Like if I grab one, let's see, right across central Louisiana here, kind of in that pocket of heaviest instability later on this evening. Wade says with the shear available 1,500 cape, yeah, there could be a straight line winds 80 miles an hour, believable. Yeah, I mean the D cape here is 991 on the sounding. You see mostly linear winds at this point of view. So the winds are mostly same directional. There ain't much directional wind shear on the sounding here, but almost 1,000 D cape, mixing in 35 knots or so lower level winds. I mean I think it could get a few significant gusts out there. That's my opinion, though. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how things play out. What radar am I using? GR2. It's a pretty good program. I love GR2. It's expensive, though, sadly. But the good news is it's only on one thing. TRG says, I think so. Looks like a lot of strong squall line. Yeah. That's my take on it. I think they need a 30 sig for winds. Personally, I think we'll see winds over 70. With this line here, given the fact that we have really strong amplified lower level winds and a lot of strong downdraft energy. Yeah, those two combined create some pretty damaging winds. Pretty solid environment for damaging winds, I should say. So, let's see. But yeah. See, embedded supercell sense of 10% SOAR. Yeah, so the main thing is, like we were talking about, y'all, is this line here with everything popping off. Let's see, we'll bring back up reflectivity here. So the mode for today, in terms of what we're seeing here, so like I said, you can kind of see this big line of storms we have going on here. So the thing is that it's just going to be this long line of storms here, super long line of storms, and inside of those storms, like in the heaviest of the precipitation, there's going to be some potential embedded tornadoes. What I mean by embedded is like driven into the core of the precipitation. There could be some tornadoes in that, and the problem with that is the fact that you cannot see them, because they become what we call rain-wrapped. Rain-wrapped is basically these curtains of rain that surround the tornado, and they obscure the view. Because normally you can see like the condensation funnel of a tornado, but when you have rain-wrapped tornadoes, it just looks like heavy rain. And, you don't know until you're in it that there's a tornado there. And that's luckily why we have radar. Radar's good at that, and that's why we're doing coverage. That way we can alert you. So, once again, please just make sure you are ready to go to shelter if necessary today. Yesterday we had multiple instances of 70 miles an hour. Yesterday we had far less ingredients. Oh yeah, no, today is definitely a lot more driven. I mean, like I was saying, even just looking at the satellite view, you can already see those components are already in place here. The strong lower level wind shear and very very strong mid level northeasterlies. I mean, we got some serious mixing going on here. It's just a matter of whenever that convection pops off. That's whenever things are gonna turn south. Let's see here. Will the tornado chances get higher as the line forms and strengthens then? Yeah. Personally, I think the tornado probability is going to be the highest during the evening, based off what I've seen, because that's where we start to get a little bit more of that that veering winds later on, but yeah, we'll see. Depends on cells being isolated. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a couple isolated storms ahead of it, it looks like. Models do show a bit of prefrontal convection going on here. I don't think it's going to be enough to, have like some serious supercells. I mean, you never know. You never know. I just think there's too many popcorn cells. Sometimes when you see like super amounts of these cells, then, usually they hog each other's moisture and instability. So, I mean, they can't really organize and stay organized for a while. Just a thermodynamic issue. Kinematics are still fine, but anyways. Let's see here. Where do I think there will be a tornado? So the greatest probability, like I was saying today, for tornadoes, it's going to be like Mississippi, central Mississippi, and kind of east central Louisiana there. Yeah, that's where I think the heaviest is going to be. Let's see here. Learn how to read radar. Good. Yeah, learning radar is very important. And especially I really do recommend it for my storm anxiety people out there, because that way, if you read radar, you can actually understand what's happening in a storm. You can understand if it's rotating. You can understand what it's doing. So that's just something I really would recommend. All right, y'all. Well, here soon, we're going to head off here. We've been live for about an hour, so it's our pre-coverage little update for you guys. If y'all did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like and, subscribing if you haven't already. It'd be much appreciated. Like I said, we'll be live here for coverage. What am I thinking about a 15 sig tour? I think confidence discrete 10 sig. Yeah, I think it'll stay 10 sig, honestly. Yeah, I don't think they need a 15. I think what they need, I think the first thing they need to change is the wind threat. I think they need to put a 30 sig. Just given the fact that amplified lower level winds and high D cape. Good amounts of downdraft energy today too. So, what time am I going live? Like 4 p.m. I'm thinking 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central. That's whenever the abundance of instability starts building in, it looks like, and that's whenever I'll go live for you guys to, keep y'all updated. Yep. So we'll walk through this today. So subscribe if you haven't, guys. It'll be much appreciated. Could come in handy today or any other day. So, like I said, we'll be here for you. Care about y'all. You're very welcome, Roby. No problem. Very, very welcome. But anyways, y'all, so we'll go ahead and go over this one more time, and then we'll head off here for now, because, like I said, we're approaching an hour, and I got to get some things done before I go live today. So, like I was saying, overall, picture is we got an enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5 severe weather threat for today. Greatest probability is between damaging winds and tornadoes. Tornado probability is the greatest across central Mississippi. Portions out there by kind of east central Louisiana. We got a 10% risk out there for tornadoes. A couple of them could be quite strong, maybe EF2 plus. Unfortunately, 10% probability across the yellow, 5% across the brown, 2% across the green. Damaging winds, 30% chance for damaging winds, mostly between 60 and 70. I think 70 plus, maybe 80 is theoretically possible today. That's what I believe. I think the winds will be a little stronger than they have it right now, but and also hail on the other side. Not too much of a concern. It's 5% risk overall. But anyways, y'all. Well, all right, y'all. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here for now. Once again, we'll go live here later on. Once again, I'm planning 4 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central. I could go live a little earlier. It could be a little later. It just really depends on when storms fire off, but I'm shooting for 4 p.m. or so. So we'll see how that goes. Alrighty. All right, y'all. Once again, much love to you. We did have one donator today, so big thank you goes to Zach. Yeah, Zach earlier donated $10 to us. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, Zach, for being our donator here for today. Absolutely rock, my friend. You definitely help keep this running, help keep me going. So thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the donation there, Zach. And alrighty, guys. Well, once again, thanks for joining. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Like I said, we'll be live here again at 4 p.m. Eastern, which will be 3 Central roughly. So I'll be here to keep y'all updated and all that stuff. So like I said, just, what I want you to do right now, this is your homework, okay? So if you're in the risk area, if you know you're in the heavy stuff today, make a little survival kit, put it together, like, first aid kit, shoes, helmet, just some important things, like water, and put that in a safe spot. So what you want, if you have a basement, storm cellar, there you go. That's where you want to put it. But if you don't, then a central interior portion of your home, put as many walls between yourself and the outside as possible. As I always say, that is where you want to store your good stuff, or your survival stuff. So just put together that for today. Like I said, hopefully you don't have to use it, but it's obviously good to be ready to go, in case if, you do get a tornado warning, and in worst case scenario, there is a tornado, just at least you'll be prepared for it to the best you can. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, once again, thanks for joining, everybody. We're going to go ahead and head over here to the ending screen, my friends. We're going to head over here back here. So, yeah. Anyways, y'all, stream's going to head off here in about 2 minutes. So go ahead and say goodbye to your friends, family, anybody you're hanging out with here in the chat. Like I said, we'll be live here again at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central. And, all right. Sounds good. Let's see here. Thanks, TRG. Appreciate it, man. And I will talk with you later. All right, guys. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Once again, we'll be live again. Set your phone reminders for 4 o'clock Eastern time, 3 Central. So set your clock then, or just simply turn on notifications. Hit that bell when you subscribe. That way it'll literally let you know when I go live, so that you guys can see. That'll be good, because if we do change up times and if things pop off a little earlier or later, then it'll update you whenever we hit that live button. So, alrighty, guys, stream's head off here in a minute. Y'all take care. Once again, big thanks goes to Zach. Thank you, man. Appreciate it for the $10 donation, my friend. But all right, y'all, you guys take care. Much love to you, and we'll catch you guys later on. Peace out, my friends. See you then.